Good morning, teacher.
Morning, guys. How are you today?
Fine,
Fine.
thank
Fine.
you. Yes.
So far, so good.
Sí.
So far, so good. Okay, okay, okay. I'm waiting for people here.
Está durmiendo, profe, todavía.
Who? People are sleeping
Yes,
today.
profe.
Good morning.
Julio.
Here, your uniform.
Mayo Zambada continúa a pesar de la
Señor.
Good
coronavirus.
morning.
Lo que viene
Morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Okay, guys. So we are going to begin talking about viruses. Do we work yesterday about viruses or not? Science.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to review a little, and then we are going to make a general review about everything, right?
Okay.
Okay, let me check this. Okay, here. Okay, so 5 characteristics, or we're going to work about viruses. Let me check this one. Okay, we're going to make a review, and then we are going to work. What? I don't know, it sent me back. Why? Alec. Oh. Okay, so what are characteristics of viruses? Ibrahim, tell me one characteristic about viruses.
They don't have a nucleus.
And they are not living things, right? Okay.
Yes.
So viruses are non-living, so have a protein coat that protects an inner core of genetic material and cannot reproduce on the node. They need a host. So, virus needs.
Virus needs. Why are viruses considered non-living? They lack most of the characteristics of living things. Viruses are not cells and do not use their own energy to grow or to respond to their surroundings. Viruses also cannot make food, take in food, or produce wastes. Although viruses can multiply like organisms, they can only do so when they are inside a living cell. The organism that a virus enters and multiplies inside of is called a host. A host is an organism that provides a source of energy for a virus or another organism. A virus acts like a parasite, an organism that lives on or in a host and causes it harm. Almost all viruses destroy the cells in which they multiply. Virus shapes. As you can see in Figure 2, viruses vary widely in shape. Some viruses are round, and some are rod-shaped. Viruses are shaped like threads or bullets. There are even viruses that have complex robot-like shapes, such as the bacteriophage. A bacteriophage is a virus that infects bacteria. In fact, its name means bacteria eater.
Okay, so listen here. First, they are not, okay, the viruses need something to reproduce. So they act like a host in an organism. They need a host, and the virus act like a parasite. So an organism that lives in other organisms on a host and causes it harm. Almost viruses destroy the cells. That's why they are really dangerous, okay? The viruses are in different shapes. Okay, some of them are shaped like a brick, threads, and others are like a robot. Okay, for example, a bacteriophage is a virus that infects bacteria. So in fact, its name means bacteria eater. Okay. Bacterial size. So the measure that bacteria how bacteria are measured is nanometers. Yes, they are called nanometers. A nanometer is a millionth of a meter. So the smallest viruses is about 20 nanometers in diameter, and the largest is 200 nanometers in diameter. How they name viruses? There are three ways they name viruses. The first one is the shape that they have. The second one are the disease that they produce, and the third one, the place where are they living or they were discovered. How viruses multiplies? After a virus attaches to the cells, yes, they takes over many of cells' functions. So it instructs to the cells to produce the virus proteins and genetic material. In that way, they reproduce again and again and again and again. These proteins, genetic material, had then assembled into new viruses. Some viruses take over cell functions immediately. Other viruses wait for a while. Okay, a structure of the virus. A structure of viruses.
Although viruses have many different shapes and sizes, they all have a similar structure. All viruses have two basic parts: an inner core containing genetic material and a protein coat that protects the virus. A virus's genetic material contains the instructions for making new viruses. Each virus contains unique surface proteins. These surface proteins play an important role during the invasion of a host cell. The shape of the surface proteins allows a virus to attach only to certain cells in the host. Like keys, a virus's proteins fit only into specific locks or proteins on the surface of a host's cells. So a particular virus can attach only to one or a few types of host cells. For example, most cold viruses infect cells only in the nose and throat of humans. Those cells have proteins on their surfaces that complement or fit the proteins on cold viruses. Figure 4 shows how the lock and key system works.
Okay, so they have three main parts, okay? Look at here, virus particle. They have one part that is a genetic material that is inside the protein coat, right? And they have a membrane envelope, okay? What happens? These virus surfaces have a surface proteins, and the cells also has a surface proteins. The proteins put together, the virus proteins put together to the cell's proteins. So that's why they enter to the cell and they destroy it. How do viruses interact with the living world? Some of them, all of them, they have two interactions. The first one, when they create the disease, and the second one, when they prevent them. Okay, the first one is virus and disease. Some viral diseases, such as colds, are mild and pass through the body quickly. Other viral diseases, such as human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, have much more serious and lasting effects on the body. Viruses also cause disease in organisms other than humans. For example, an apple tree infected by the apple mosaic virus may produce less fruit. Dogs and cats can get deadly virus diseases such as rabies and distemper. Okay, they are the diseases. The other face of the coin, yes, is this one. The other side of the coin is this one. They are useful, right? Usefulness of viruses. In a technique called gene therapy, scientists take advantage of a virus's ability to enter a host cell. They use the virus as a messenger service to deliver genetic material to cells that need it. Studies are being done that use gene therapy to treat disorders in disease such as hemophilia, hereditary blindness, and immune deficiencies. If you never got the chickenpox virus as a child, you may have a vaccine to thank. A vaccine is a substance introduced in the body to help produce chemicals that destroy specific viruses. These vaccines are made of viruses, from weak or dead viruses. Because they are weakened and dead, the viruses do not cause disease. Instead, they activate the body's natural defenses. If the virus ever invades your body, it is destroyed before it can make you sick. Okay. Look at the steps, how it works. First, the virus that causes a disease is isolated. Then the virus weakened or killed by heat, and the vaccine is prepared for it. When they have the vaccine, during the vaccination, the weakened virus injected into the body. Then the body prepares defenses against the virus. The body, in the foreword, the body can now resist infection by the disease-causing viruses. Okay? I think that's okay. Yes, this is bacteria. Okay, so let's go to a test. We are going to practice. Okay, viruses lesson quiz. To be in here, okay. Okay, number 1, Ibrahim. Viruses are living, cannot reproduce on their own?
False.
False or true?
Yes.
False. Okay.
False.
Okay, good. Next. Mr. Natera. Viruses lack most of the characteristics of living things? Mr. Natera, true or false?
False.
False.
No have a characteristic things.
They say viruses lack most of the characteristics of living things. True or false?
False.
False. Sure. Okay.
True.
I don't know. Okay, continue. Gabriela. The average virus is quite large when compared with cells. True or false?
True.
True. They are larger than the cells. Okay.
True.
I don't know. It's your grade. It's not mine. Viruses can cause or help to prevent or treat disease. Wait. Rehan. Viruses can cause or help to prevent or treat disease. True or false?
They can cause. True. I think.
True.
True.
Okay. I don't know.
Teacher, that was like a question. Viruses can cause or help to
No.
prevent.
Viruses can cause or help to prevent and treat disease. True or false?
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Fulvio, Shirley. Shirley. Vaccine cause viruses. True or false?
It's false.
Okay. Hey, I need your video. Okay. Fulvio. Next. A virus is a tiny particle that enters and then reproduces inside a living protein, cell, or organ. Protein, cell, of organ.
Cell.
Choose one.
Cell.
Cell. Okay. Sure. Yes. Okay, continue. Organism that a virus enters and multiplies inside is called a host parasite bacterium. Himani.
Host.
Host.
Yes.
Third. A is an organism that lives on or in a host and causes it harm.
Nucleus.
Nucleus.
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. A is a substance introduced in the body to help produce chemicals.
Me.
Protein, vaccine, parasite. Antonio.
Vaccine.
Vaccine, okay. All viruses have a structured featuring an inner core and protective cell genetic proteins code. Emmanuel?
Protein code.
Protein, okay. Wait a minute, I'm going to continue with the other, okay, with our test. Okay, let me check. We are going to check the exam. 70%, 3 wrong. Okay, you need more practice with apply knowledge, describe characteristics of living things, describe the common characteristics of living things, identify characteristics of living things. Summarize the characteristics of viruses. Okay, so we are going to do this. We're going to make other one to continue, right? Okay, if the statement is true, write true. If the statement is false, change to underline. Okay, no. It is the same one, but in PDF. Okay. We are going to make a review from the other lesson. From the last. Okay. No, it's not. Okay, we're going to practice chapter 1, right? Do you remember about the chapter 1? Yes? Okay. Alec, the first question is for you. Okay, which of the following terms best describes green plants? Multicellular heterotrophs, multicellular autotrophs, unicellular autotrophs, unicellular heterotrophs.
Multicellular autotrophs.
Autotrophs. Okay. Kush, next for you. Which of the following is not a chemical of life? Mineral, water, nucleic acid, carbohydrate. Which is not chemical of life? Which one?
Nucleic acid.
Nucleic acid. Okay. Okay. Sofia Perez. Okay, the one factor that scientists changes in experiment is called the respondent variable, hypothesis, control variable, manipulated variable.
Manipulated variable.
Manipulated variable. Okay. Continue. Ana Sofia. A bird flaps its feathers to trap body heat to keep warm during the winter months. This is an example of homeostasis, homeopathy, spontaneous generation, asexual reproduction.
Spontaneous generation.
Ah, yeah. Huh? Okay. Sexual reproduction involves only one parent. True or false? Shirley.
True.
It's true. Sexual reproduction involves only one parent. True or false?
False.
Ah, okay. Emmanuel, no. Everybody, Ignacio. Gabriel Natera. The process of change during an organism's life that results in more complex organisms is called growth. True or false?
True.
False. Huh?
I don't know, teacher.
You don't know. Rafael 1. True or false? The process of change during an organism's life that results in more complex organisms is called growth. True or false?
False.
False. False.
Yes.
Okay. Next one. Ceci, how are you? Okay. Cecilia, bacteria, the most numerous organisms on Earth, are multicellular organisms. True or false? False. Samir, I need your, hey guys, I need your video there. Samir. Okay, another name for living things is organisms. True or false?
True.
True. Okay. Ian. Organisms break down and build up materials in a process called homeostasis. True or false?
False.
False. Okay. Khalil. Khalil.
Yes.
Okay. In sexual reproduction, offspring are identical to the parent. True or false?
True.
Okay. We're going to see. Ah, 70% also. Ooh, ugly. Okay, you need to practice more. Define homeostasis. Describe how biologists classify life. Describe the process of sexual reproduction. Oh, terrible. Okay. Okay, we are going to review these first, right? Okay, and I'm going to put the test again. We are going to see if you get a 10 out of 10, right? Okay. What it is, okay. Review, what is life? Okay, so what are 6 characteristics of life? No, I need the review. It is not. I don't want this test. I want the review. I have to read that again with you guys. Let me check this. I thought that it was a review, but it wasn't. You get only 70%. You have to get 80. Why do you get 70? Just two, run. Okay, so this is what is life. Lesson 1. What are the characteristics of living things? Where do living things come from, and what do living things need to survive? Okay, 6 characteristics of living things. Number 1, all living things have cellular organization, contain similar chemicals, use energy, respond to their surroundings, grow and develop and reproduce. Okay, here we have the 6. Okay, next. Okay, cellular organization. Cells are divided in unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Well, okay, unicellular organisms are single-celled organisms like bacteria. Multicellular is when they have more than one cell. The single cell is responsible for carrying out all the functions of the necessary stay alive. Organisms that are composed of many cells are multicellular. Okay. Okay, chemicals of life. Cells of living things are made of chemicals. The most abundant chemicals in cells is water, other chemicals called carbohydrate, 2 chemicals that proteins and lipids. What else do you have? Nucleic acids, yes. Finally, nucleic acids are genetic material of cells, so the chemical instructions that the cells need to carry out the functions of life. So we have water, carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, and nucleic acids. Okay? Energy use. The combination of chemical reactions through which an organism builds up or breaks down materials is called metabolism, not homeostasis. Right? Metabolism. Okay? Next. Okay, response to surroundings. So the body change in our organism surroundings that causes the organisms to react is called a stimulus. Stimuli include changes in light, sounds, and other factors. An organism reacts to stimulus with a response, an action of changing behavior. Okay? Pay attention to this. Growth and development. All living things grow and develop. Growth is the process of becoming larger. Development is the process of change that occurs during the organism's lives. Development, no, it was growth that you put there. Okay. Reproduction. Asexual reproduction involves only one parent. And sexual reproduction involves 2 parents and combine their genetic material to produce an organism that differs from both parents. Okay, where do living things come from? Living things arise from other living things to reproduction. So people believed in other theory that is called spontaneous generation, that the living things can arise from non-living things, and it is wrong, right? Pay attention to this. Okay, a scientist, Italian doctor named Francesco Redi, yes, created an experiment to prove that the spontaneous generation doesn't exist. It was wrong. So during this one, they say it developed into, okay, pay attention. They say, Redi designed a control experiment to show the maggots which develop into new flies do not arise from decaying meat. In a control experiment, a scientist carries out a series of tests or identical in every respect except for one factor. The factor that a scientist changes in an experiment is called manipulated variable. Okay? That it was okay. You answer okay when they make the question about it. Okay, we're going to continue. Iris Pasteur. Okay, Paul Pasteur was a scientist who created the pasteurization. Louis Pasteur, a French chemist, designed another experiment to test spontaneous generation. That experiment showed here, yes, along with Ray's work, finally disapproved spontaneous generation. Why do living things need to survive? All living things must satisfy their basic needs for food, water, living space, and stable internal conditions. Okay? They need food. They could be autotrophs or heterotrophs. Autotrophs, they can make their own food. And heterotrophs, they obtain energy by feeding on other organisms. So we are heterotrophs. We need water to survive because all of the living things need water to survive because the cells carry on their functions in a watery environment. Living space, all organisms need a place to live, a place to get food and water and find shelter. Okay. Stable internal conditions or homeostasis. Okay. Organisms must be able to keep conditions inside their bodies stable, even when conditions in the surroundings change significantly. For example, your body temperature stays steady despite changes in the air temperature. The maintenance of stable internal conditions is called homeostasis. Okay? Okay. Now we are going to go back. Okay, do you understand, guys? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, guys, see you the next class on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Stay home,
Bye.
play a lot of video games, and have fun.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Teacher.
Bye,
Bye.
teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Ciao.
Bye. Ian, don't bother me.
Bye, teacher.